That's good.
Ready.
Hello, welcome to 15-Minute Forum. We're going to do an activity we start with in geography, both for Key Stage 3, 4 and 5, and it's a really good way for us to gauge not only students' ability to understand exam questions, because it leads on to that, but it also breaks down quite a few barriers in terms of them talking to each other and being able to work constructively in pairs. And as geographers, it is all really ultimately about place, and this is a really good activity to try and get students to verbalise their knowledge of place. So we are going to do a little kind of activity game, which there are prizes for the winning pair, an inflatable globe each, no expense bag, don't feel very much. And what's going to happen is this. One of you is going to be the scribe, and these are going to be the people who can't see the screen. So they each get a piece of paper and a sharp pencil. Absolutely no cheating. And their corresponding partners are going to be doing the description. So the three ladies facing this way are going to be explaining to the people directly behind them what they see on the board, and I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible, so 3 or 4 minutes. I can see Ellie is like out of her seat competitive.
I really want to glow.
Now,
Yeah, step aside, Ellie.
what is important is that you can only tell them. You can't show them, you can't lean over and strangle them, nor can you take the pencil out of their hand. Are we ready? We're steady? Off we go.
Bottom, that's about 2 centimetres, I suppose, and in that strip there's the key, so it says average per year at the left-hand side, and then there's one box that says less than 1 per year. The next box says 1.0 to 2.9 per year, and the next one says 3.0 to 2.0
Australia as well.
Arrow on a
I don't know. That's
arrow.
okay. I probably have got Africa. What else have we got?
They've sort of
Tracks, I think that's what it says.
Help me. Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect.
Quickly, help me. What's the next one?
Correspondence.
I've got to
arrows
where?
going
It's
up.
actual picture.
Have I got your map?
Picture is
Like
a
like a curve graph going up, with just arrows that go up
Yeah.
around 5 feet.
Okay.
Okay. And then Australia.
Is Asia to the right or to the left of Africa?
much
To the right. Thank you.
left.
No, to the left. Okay. Right.
Okay,
Yes. Go on.
now there's a line that
Yeah.
runs across the middle
Arrows
of
going the opposite way
your
from the
drawing.
5-point ones. So
Okay.
arrows going down.
Over
Is it the
Oh,
weather? Is it a weather front?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, right. Or the tide, or the
Yes,
yeah,
that's
the
right.
flow. Right, hang on. I don't. One of the islands.
Yeah.
Okay. From the left to the
And
right.
then
Lines.
There's like a patch of
One
red.
arrow, where our
You're right,
go a
Max.
little
Yes,
bit.
A main arrow
Okay.
very often is the left.
More of them.
More of them.
Coming
Okay.
Like cyclones.
above the line,
Above or below the equator?
5 millimetres above the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like some tentacle
Yeah.
Arrows
Yeah.
that curves up to the left.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Pardon?
Like tentacle arrows.
Tentacle
Yeah,
arrows.
there's like 4 of them and they're pointing forward.
Yeah.
Arrows that curve upwards towards the right.
Yeah,
It's
going which
coming off
way
the main
from?
From
arrow.
where?
Exactly the same way, going from
So they're like
left
branches
to
of
right.
Where are they
main
coming
arrow.
from? And they're going towards
So
America.
from
Right, so
Japan
they
to
stop it
America.
in the middle
Oh.
before they go actually
When you
to
say
the right.
when you say
And,
But like
When you said-
Is it like a mirror
Do you
image
mean
of the other one?
map of the
about 2
world?
centimetres
Yeah,
long.
Yes, I would
Oh, I
say
thought you
yes.
meant
there
a
is
button
one
similar
going
arrow.
right. The
Okay.
curve,
That's
Oh, sorry, to the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
by the
Okay,
one
so
on
there's
the
a
right
similar
side, what you're
arrow.
doing now,
Yeah.
the curve is more up. So there's a curve, but not very much. Doesn't go so much to the right, the
6
curve.
curves.
Oh, I've done it the wrong way round
Yeah,
then, I
sorry,
think.
arrows,
Okay,
so
go on.
it's a more pronounced curve.
What else?
Right, similar top one, it's fine, similar top one.
Yeah.
No.
No, it is, it's fine.
African
It's not.
sound.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So from
Below
Japan,
the
yeah, but
equator, where you have this
Okay.
emptiness, just water.
Yeah. On the left or on the right?
So have you done side
Yeah.
to me
And then the
over-
other side of Australia.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Over
Yeah.
Madagascar.
Madagascar.
From the
Top
equator,
line.
from the
Just
line,
to the east
Yeah.
of Africa.
Just
Yeah.
to
down,
yeah.
so the arrow, the drawing of the arrow is
North or
down
south?
to South Africa.
Can you
Yeah.
do me some?
And they're going
I'm only going to give you about 45 more seconds.
Some arrows going
It'll
down.
be
Right, so
I was
I'm
like going
just-
above Madagascar, below Madagascar.
Going down.
and down there
Okay.
is at the end of
Just
the
at the
arrows
bottom.
Oh no.
is the arrow sign.
Exactly.
Country.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
Don't worry about that. North America. North America, that over
From
New
the,
York.
from the right to the left,
Now
the
go
arrow.
down.
Okay.
Half it. Can you write
From the right to the
hurricanes?
left.
Yeah.
And it's
Hurricanes.
Madagascar,
Hurricanes.
you know,
Underneath.
Like an S?
Yeah.
like an S, yes.
Yeah.
At the end of this S, which
20
is, there
seconds.
is the arrow sign.
And then I need a massive
Yes.
blob-like shape.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
that.
Just
I'm not so shabby.
left of
Okay,
South
good.
America.
Left of South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't really do that to be
I don't
honest.
even know which
It's
side
like-
of my head.
Right, we're going to have a 10 countdown.
Oh,
It says Willy Willies.
8,
To the side.
7,
Nine.
5,
Actually, really difficult.
4,
Fun.
2, 1. Okay. The artists, if you'd like to turn around and see what your counterparts have been trying
Okay.
to explain to you.
Not so bad.
Ah.
With these ones we were okay.
Quite well, actually.
With these ones we were okay.
I think we've
No,
done
no,
well.
we've got a
There's
clear
some, there's some interesting.
Not so bad.
I mean, at one point I did think Andy was drawing a potato, but
Wow.
it was hurtful. You were all really nice to each other, I thought. Although, as a geography teacher, there were lots of lefts and rights being spoken instead of east and west. There were lots of draw a line through it rather than the equator, although I did hear the equator. There was the tentacle arrows from Helen, which didn't really have much geographical knowledge in it. And I'm afraid Mrs. Thorne that is Asia to the right or left of Africa. But what was interesting is very few of the three of you even drew the map as being completely 2D. A lot of you were still trying to draw it as a circle. And this question leads our students on to describe the distribution of tropical storms. And it's all about typhoons, cyclones, or as they're called in Australia, which the kids love, willy willies. And our students have in the past really struggled with that phrase distributed. They don't actually really know what it means. And if they don't really even understand what the instruction is, that's quite challenging. But also they're unable perhaps to cite specific places like Asia, talk about things north or south of the equator, and they're unable to really pinpoint that in North Africa they're called, North America, sorry, they're called hurricanes. So it's quite a fun way to break down some of those issues that are between children where they don't want to work with the person next to them, they don't like them. And it's also a good way for us to assess their language and the standard of the geography that they're reading. There is a lack of confidence in place names with our children. I've heard China is the capital of Japan and the Netherlands is where Peter Pan lives. So there is a real unwillingness to contribute to class discussions, and I think that's a really nice thing that we do to try and break down what is actually, or can be, quite advanced language distribution. What I've done on Wordle, which is a website that Bill has helped me access, is try to put together some of the different types of assessment sort of prompt words. How are they going to be asked to do something in geography? They're not going to be asked to write everything they know about tropical storms, but they might be asked to apply or look at the similarities or select. And you can make these really easily, and they're a really good starter or plenary activity to show the kids. It also helps with key word spellings, because environment is a word that's universally spelled correctly. And there's a link on there, so I'll make the 15-minute forum presentation available, but you can change the colours and everything, and it's really good. Other tricks that we do in geography that you might want to use in your subject areas is rephrase the question into language that they understand. So rather than where are tropical storms distributed, where do they happen? Write the focus of a question down the side as they're writing. Sometimes our students are asked questions about the social impacts and they get carried away with the environmental impacts or the economic impacts. So down the lines that they are given by the examiner, they actually write social down the side. So they actually are following, as they're writing, they can see all the way down, it's got to be social. And get them talking to one another, because then hopefully that's going to link to them finally talking to me. And there's nothing worse than sitting there at parents' evening and not having much to say to a parent because actually their child doesn't say anything ever. So those are just a few tricks that we have in geography to get and dig down into, you know, what actually makes, you know, good learning, which is understanding what the question is. So now, the bit that you're all waiting for, the lovely Eileen is going to help me select which pair, based perhaps on some of the comments I've got. Let's have a look at artwork first of all, Eileen. I'll go back to the, if I may, what it should look like, and we'll just have a quick look at what we've got. Oh, right. Oh no, we've got a good shape of Africa there.
Wow.
Although actually,
No,
that's
Australia.
No, that's Africa.
That is Africa.
How much had she actually described? She did say it was a globe.
We're going to show that to the
Oh,
computer.
are we?
We're just going to show. Can we get that? That's Mrs. Thorne, assistant, a teacher.
That's a funny one.
Oh, we've got typhoon, cyclone, hurricanes in the right spot.
Were the shapes of the countries described at all?
I said draw the world, it was a bit vague.
Isn't it?
Oh, yes.
What's the bubble? Is that Madagascar?
I do think
This
that
was-
the rest of the audience need to see a close-up.
Yeah.
of
Oh,
this.
sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh, sorry. This is
Thank you,
Thank
Tim.
you,
Tim.
On my own, you know.
Very good. I'll just show this one as well to the to computer. Get it good. Good. There we go.
This is beautiful.
This one is
Clear's
good.
the winner.
Thank you, we got the key.
Oh, they've got less. They have got. I did hear the word key as well, which is important.
That was a geographical term.
It is a geographical term. I think Alice got carried away just writing willy willy though, hasn't she?
I got it
I was
down.
told.
Good boy, I'm afraid.
It's true. We
I
got it
think
down
it's
there.
probably a fine line between these two. Which would you say?
Those are going a long way.
It's a massive
The equator has moved northward somewhere into the Sahara, but
Right.
Global
That's a
warming.
minor detail.
I
we were
don't know
hypothesising.
what the information was. Oh dear. No, I did. It's so hard to make a decision.
right.
It's only a globe at the end
Were
of the
those
day.
all?
Yes, they're the
geographical?
ones on the board. You see, that's what they're trying to get down.
So that's got more information.
Well, I think you're right there. I hate to say Vicky and Malcolm and Ellie, but I think it has to go to Andy and Michelle. Congratulations.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh, good frame.
obviously, hopefully you'll be able to get a little bit of geography in some lessons. You might be able to.
Oh,
And,
such a nice bloom.
that pretty much sums us up for our 15-minute forum. So I'm going to take in your lovely. Certainly pencils. Anyway.
Anyway.
Thank you
I
very
mean,
much.
that's
Thank you very much. Thanks.
All got faces that we've got.
And I'll know where to go now.
I wonder that to the left or right of
Left
Africa.
or right?
Right.
What was quite worrying was